What's happening YouTube? What's happening YouTube? This video is going to be about the NFL and how they've treated black players. And now we're going to go back to when Fritz Pollard broke the color line along with Bobby Marshall in the early 20s. And they were all part of the NFL until the 30s when the NFL banned black players from playing. Yeah, I said banned. That's what they did. We're going to also talk about how the LA Rams in 1946 brought in Kenny Washington and Woody Strode, but that was because they were told they had to have black players. This is another story, another time. That Marion Motley and Bill Willis came in 46. Also want to give a shout out to the first black man that was drafted, George Taliaferro, and also to the first black modern day quarterback, Willie Thrower, ironically of his name. I mention all this to tell you that the NFL is always been racist. And this is something that you need to understand how they just started having more modernized with black quarterbacks. Well, I don't watch the NFL draft because I always feel like ain't nothing but an auction. And I always find it disturbing because of how people get all into it when it really is nothing but like an auction meet. You know, Colin Kaepernick talked about it and spoke out about it. Now, I mentioned these years and these players for a few reasons. This all predated Jackie Robinson. So let that sink in. This predated Jackie Robinson. Fritz Pollard, you know. Uh, Woody Strode, Kenny Washington predated, and Mary Motley and Bill Willis in 46. Jackie Robinson came to the Dodgers in 47. See, this is the thing. They get you excited to get excited about something that is called work in America, where you're born and bred. You're not a migrant. You're not illegal. You are an American citizen. Social Security, etc., etc. Tax-paying citizen. How are you to get excited about something that you're supposed to do and that you're applying for a job? Somehow it gets romanticized that, oh, well, the Dodgers did this and the Rams did that, and well, doesn't that make them special? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It shows you how racist they are, how narrow-minded they are, and how they don't psychologically make sense with what they're about. You know, when you have to want a cookie and some milk for something that's common sense, especially when people are born and bred in a said place, there's nothing to get excited about. And the only reason why I still have my issues with the NFL is a long list. Where are all the black owners at? Where are the black general managers at? Brian Flores still got a lawsuit head coaching for against Stephen Ross and the Miami Dolphins, how he felt he was discriminated against. The handful of black head coaches, they still don't push an agenda. Yeah, token symbols in the end zone after they ran Colin Kaepernick out after he got white ball, you know. Still got a long ways to go with that. And they might ask some people thinking that they're inclusive because Patrick Mahomes, who is the face of the NFL and has been very successful, but I look at Patrick Mahomes kind of look like I look at Tiger Woods. You're a product that you have to be exceptionally great. You have to be twice as good to get one step foot in there because you can't fool around and be Patrick Mahomes and have a Joe Burrow resume. And I do like Joe Burrow or Matthew Stafford. You have to be Patrick Mahomes. You see where I'm going with this? And whether he go 5 trips to Super Bowl, 3 rings, you have to be that dynamic for them to entertain you. You still got people who don't like the fact that if you mention his name with Joe Montana and Tom Brady, but his success says he's right there with those two. They don't like that. But then think about it from a totality perspective of how they have selectively gotten to do what they wanted to do with coaches, with general managers, with ownership. When people have applied for ownership, when people have tried to make strides in there, and how they have, they trying to act like a DEI, which it ain't. Because one of the reasons why they had to throw the Rooney Rule in there was because they were openly, blatantly racist with their agenda, which they still are. Because the Rooney Rule hasn't taken shape where all these successions of black head coaches are winning. Think about it. You know, you don't have a successions until you get more guys with rings like Tony Dungy and Mike Tomlin. Wake me up. Please let me know. When you have runner-up head coaches like Jim Caldwell and Lovie Smith, let me know. You still are dealing with first, and you're still getting limited options. They just can manipulate. Jalen Hurts and Mahomes were the first two African American quarterbacks to participate in the Super Bowl against one another. That was just 2-3 years ago now. Hurts won one, Mahomes won. But this is the thing. It's not reflective in progress. It's done in a way to be subjective to at their own pace. Drips. You don't get the full splash, you get drips. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like and hit the membership. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out. Peace.